with new leadership, Los Angeles' best days will be in front of us. We heard some good ideas on this stage tonight. Some of them even came from my opponents. Now, they've mentioned those ideas before. Election in, election out. I don't know why it takes 10 years to implement some of these good ideas. It shouldn't take 10 years. I don't know why day one of year 13 for them is the right time to implement these ideas. We are living in the proof that they cannot implement the ideas that they put forward. Now, there are several reasons why. They get resistance from the special interests that support their campaigns. An exhibit, they've been talking about the elimination of the gross receipts tax for 10 years. They've impaneled so many business tax advisory committees, we've got BTAC alumni running around the city. And they haven't done it because they always run into that resistance from the special interests. To eliminate the gross receipts tax, which is taking money off the top, sometimes you have to be willing to fight, like we will do so on pension reform. My pension reform plan was published on August 21st in the Steve Lopez column in the Los Angeles Times. I would encourage you to read it. If the city council, and I'm optimistic with the new council, will be able to get the elimination of the gross receipts tax. We're not throwing out the business tax altogether, but we're finding a way to calculate it so businesses can stay in Los Angeles and compete. And if the city council won't give it to us, I'll use my communication skills, the radio airwaves, and we'll go to the people, and the people will. That's what real leadership is in the mayor's office. And something that frustrates me to no end, and I'll close with this, that we are still talking about paving Wilshire Boulevard as something that will make our city a better place. We've had cement for a long time. We should have paved it long ago and maintained it, but they've drained the money from our ability to do so. And I will go down. I won't come to Beverly Hills to do this, because I know that you're like this city engineer, but I am going to go maybe to Burbank, and I'm going to find the city engineer and hire them in the city of LA, the one that knows how to make a manhole cover level with the street. We can't even get that right in the city of Los Angeles. Because you react the way you do tells all of us it's time for new leadership. So vote for me, Kevin James, on March 5th, 2013. Thank you.
Wendy Greuel.
Tonight we're talking about civic engagement, and all of you have come this evening to learn about the future of Los Angeles and who will lead. There's a quote that I wanted to read from A. Philip Randolph. "A community is democratic only when the humblest and weakest person can enjoy the highest civil, economic, and social rights that the biggest and most powerful possess." I'm here tonight as a candidate for mayor and your next mayor to ensure that we represent, and I will represent, all of Los Angeles. I'm uniquely qualified for this position because of I've described, I've owned a family business. I know what it means to make payroll and make those tough decisions. I know what it means to work 24/7. I've worked for President Clinton in making sure that after the 1994 earthquake that we had the resources necessary to rebuild Los Angeles. I worked for Tom Bradley, who gave me that inspiration that you can do anything. And I worked for a DreamWorks movie studio that said you can dream, but you also need to make sure that you can have it get to fruition. And when I think about the future of the city and about the importance of creating good jobs, good education, and a transportation system that's seamless, that is not one of those at that final mile you just can't make it because it doesn't get you there, I'm going to be the mayor of Los Angeles that knows not only what to do, but how to do it. I often say that I don't just want to be the mayor, I want to do the job of mayor. The job of mayor means rolling up your sleeves and making those tough decisions. It means being a city controller that, yes, sometimes I come out with an audit that's critical of others and they don't like it very much. But that's about leading. It's about being a city controller who says we need to manage our expenses and be able to ensure that we can meet our obligations. But more importantly, I want to be a mayor because my 9-year-old said he wants to live next door to me for the rest of his life. And I want to make sure that he can afford to live in a neighborhood in my community. I want to make sure that he can get a good public education, and I want to make sure he can get a great job. And I want that for all of us and for each of our children. So I'm running for mayor to lead this city into its best times and to lead this city in its tough times. But most of all, to lead this city for our children and our grandchildren. Please join me and vote for Wendy Greuel on March 5th. Thank you very, very much.
My agenda as mayor is simple and direct. We have to focus on economic development. We've only grown by 100,000 people the last 10 years, so we actually have a chance, an opportunity to catch up, to keep the jobs that we have here and to bring more so that we can put more people back to work. Simply put, I've done that over the last decade by bringing $15 billion in investment, creating 90,000 new jobs, and over $40 million in net new revenue to go into our general fund to pay for our police and fire so that we can continue to operate. I will continue to do that as your next mayor and to focus on those core services: fire, police, public safety, infrastructure repair, and of course planning and balancing the city budget, not through gimmicks, not through tax increases, but by reducing our expenditures, focusing and finding net new revenue, and focusing on our collections, and asking our employees to participate in that with us, even though that is a very difficult thing to do. We have to restore benefits and pensions to levels that are sustainable and realistic. And I won't allow for negotiated pay increases until our pension obligations are sustainable and we have closed our long-term structural deficit. So I'm running for mayor to be the mayor. I'm not running for mayor so I can be a governor or so I can be a United States senator. I want to be the mayor. That allows me to focus on solving our major problems rather than leaving those problems for the next mayor or the next generation. I do want to make Los Angeles work again too. I want to make this a better city, not just for the young people and the grandchildren, but the folks who are here now. Everybody's having a difficult time. We got to refocus, we got to restore, and we have to renew this promise and to bring back confidence in our local government by balancing our budget, asking you to participate with us, push back on us, argue with us, pay attention, be engaged, and to be honest with each other and our city employees. I'm the candidate who's willing to make difficult and decisive decisions to balance our budget and close our structural deficit. The quick fixes and the gimmicks of the past simply won't work. When I'm mayor of Los Angeles, we'll start living within our means. My name is Jan Perry. Thank you for listening to me tonight.
You know when you go to rock concerts and people love it so much they ask for more? So we have questions from the audience because you guys want it so much. So there are 3 really good questions that I will ask the candidate, and they will have 1 minute to answer. And the first one is on the issue of the homeless. We have not spoken about the homeless tonight, so I'm going to ask the candidates to spend 1 minute on how to deal with the issue of the homeless. And we're going to start with Mr. Garcetti.